Hello students, and welcome to your week 2 at-home inquiry pennies and rulers instructional video. Now when you see this big table here, don't let it freak you out, please. I know it's a lot of information. It's more so to help you separate into groups and then get the ruler we're going to be used up and running. With this assignment, we're going to be measuring using different types of rulers. Everybody's going to be measuring the same objects. Ultimately, we're going to be separated into groups. Now, you'll notice that I have group 1, group 2, and group 3. The separation is based on last names. So if you have a last name like mine, say Lamp, I would be in group 2 because that falls in between H through P. Now, if you have a hyphenated last name, please take the first last name, the first initial of your first last name to put you into a group. Now, group 1 is going to be using what's called a PILI-App calibrated monitor ruler. This is going to be ultimately a ruler on your screen, and it is calibrated to your monitor size. Notice there's a direction sheet, so if you are in group 1, you will open the direction PDF file located right here, and it tells you how to get that up and running. If you're in group 2, we're using a printable ruler. So you will use a paper printable ruler in order to measure your pennies. If you're in group 3, you will use the iPhone MeasureBox app. Now, I know not all students have access to all of these materials. If you don't have an iPhone or you don't have a printer, if you don't have access to some of these tools, make sure to email me so I can put you in a different group. I do want to place you into the other group because some groups might be not as prevalent with students based on last names and enrollments. So I do want to make sure I put you in a good group where we can get more data. So once you know what group you're in and you know what tool you're using and you get that tool up and running and then you have 20 pennies gathered, you can go ahead and click on this title link up here. And that will open you into the thread. You will click on the group that you are in or what tool you're going to be using. And I used the MeasureBox app for the iPhone, and I actually measured about 100 pennies to kind of work with some data. I'm going to click on that thread link, that blue link there, and that's going to open into the instructions. Now each group has the same process, it's just different tools. So everybody's going to be following the same instructions and providing the same information in the discussion. There are 2 parts to this assignment, so make sure you keep an eye on that. You also want to make sure you save your data, whether it's on the computer or written down, because we will be referencing or going back to the data in week 3. Now you'll notice right here there is a PDF file embedded for you. You can read the instructions here, or if you want to open a Word document, you can click on this link here and that will download a Word document that you can use. Now, when you get into the instructions, ultimately the problem we're investigating is there a relationship to the year a penny was made and the diameter of a penny? So that's going to be what we're going to be checking out as we measure the diameter. We're also going to look at different tools on the side. However, ultimately, this is our problem dealing with the year a penny was made and the diameter. Again, you need your tool, you need 20 pennies, and then if you want to write your data down, you can use a piece of paper and a writing utensil, or you can write down or type your data into the Word document. Now, when you measure a penny, remember diameter is straight across. The year is located on the heads side of the penny, and I circled that here in case you need a little reminder on where to find that. And then here's a data table you can use to collect your data, or you can write it down on paper. It's entirely up to you. And you need it for all 20 pennies. And then part 2 is going to be a quick part where we have to calculate the average and the range of our data. Remember, to calculate the average or mean of your data, you have to add all of your diameter values together and then divide by 20, and that will give you your average. Find the range, you're going to take your largest diameter value and subtract your smallest diameter value, and that's going to be your range. So make sure you write that down or type that here and don't lose that as well. Now, after you gather your data and calculate the information above, we're going to work on relaying this information to the rest of the class. Now, typically, a lot of classes would have you do a report. I am not picky on those things. I just want you to make sure you have all the information needed so other students can know what you did, what you found, and what your thought is. So whether or not you want to type up a report on a Word document, if you want to do a handwritten report, you can scan or take a picture. You can do a submission text. You can do an oral response by video or video recording. You can use VoiceThread, which would ultimately be like a PowerPoint voiceover. Whatever it is that you want to do in order to relay this information is going to be entirely up to you. Now, the information you're going to provide is an introduction, any side research or hypothesis, which is not necessarily required, but if you did any, that would be something you would include. You want a procedure, data, and the analysis. So introduction would be, what is our problem or our statement, what group we were in, what ruler did we use. Procedure would be steps on how you completed the actual assignment or experiment. And the procedure should be detailed enough where if another student read your information, they could follow your procedure step by step and complete the lab exactly the same. Data would be what you wrote down. So what were the years? What were the diameter values? Analysis would include your average and range values. And then it's also going to have you talk about your accuracy, your uncertainty, and your precision in your data. And there's more information here on how to do that. Now, when you're ready, you're done gathering your data, you're done writing or doing a voiceover or whatever it may be that you want to do to present the material, click on this blue reply button right here. And that's going to open this submission field. Now, either you can type into this message here, just be careful because sometimes students lose their information if they're inactive too long. You can put information in there, or if you want to upload a file, say you wrote a report in Word, you can use this Browse My Computer option, and that would open up your files so you can find where you saved it and upload it and attach it. Or if you did, say, a YouTube video or VoiceThread, you can include the link here in the submission text and just include the address link for us to find it. Whatever it may be, just make sure we have access to it. And then when you're ready, you'll hit this blue submit button for grading. Now, just a side note, when we are dealing with the pennies, I do want to make sure you know that not all the diameters of the pennies are the same. I did have a range in between about 1.87 centimeters to 1.9495 centimeters. So the pennies are not going to be the same diameter. So when you are measuring your diameter, no matter what tool you're using, make sure you pay close attention to that so you have the correct diameter. You want to make sure you are writing down what you're seeing and not guessing, because that would be a term of fabricating data. So we're going to avoid doing that. If you have any questions or you get stuck, make sure to email me. Otherwise, once you're done with this assignment, you can go to the last assignment in week 2.